Math 6 kids, we are going to be correcting your independent practice from interpreting graphs. If you haven't yet completed it, I need you to pause the video and go to your Friday, May 15th folder. Make sure to watch that video and complete this activity before you come back. For the rest of us, let's go ahead and start correcting. All right, so the first three problems are a matching section. So we want to match graphs A, B, and C with the best description. Number 1 says heating water to a boiling point. And I'm looking at these three graph choices and looking at my x and y axes. So my x-axes are all time. I'm looking at heating water to a boiling point, so that could go over time. Temperature, volume, temperature. Well, volume doesn't really make sense for heating water. That is going to be temperature. So I'm going to look at my two temperature options. One of them is starting higher and coming down and remaining constant. The other is starting at a lower temperature, rising, and then remaining somewhat constant. Well, I know from science class then that when water heats up to a boiling point, it can't get hotter than that boiling. It turns to steam. So graph C is going to be my best choice for illustrating heating water. Cooling water to the freezing point, well, you probably can guess that that's going to be this one, where the water's cooling and then freezing. So that's graph A. And then number 3, pulling a plug in the bathtub. Well, if I pull a plug in the bathtub, the water volume is going to go down at a pretty steady rate. So best choice there is B. Next we have number 4. In this problem, we're circling the graph that best illustrates the story. So let's read the story thinking about what it's illustrating. An elevator starts at the ground floor. It went up to the 6th floor and stopped, then went to the 4th floor and stopped, and finally returned to the ground floor. So I want those 4 things reflected in the graph. So first I'm looking for starting at the ground floor, and I notice that my graphs are showing time and height. So if I'm starting at the ground floor, the height is going to be nothing. So right away I know I can rule out the option where we're not starting at the ground floor. All right, so starting at the ground floor, it went up to the 6th floor, stopped, and stopped is going to look flat. Time is passing, but it's stopped, and then it goes to the 4th floor. So if it goes to the 6th floor and then to the 4th floor, I'm going to see it go up to 6, wait, down to 4, wait. Well, up to 6, wait, down to 4, wait, up to 6, wait. This isn't going down, so it's seeming like this is my best choice. Let's see. Up to 6, wait, down to 4, wait, back to the ground floor. Yep, graph F. For problem 5, we're asked to show the distance from Talia's house compared to time that she took. We're going to use this graph to calculate the total number of miles. So first thing we want to do is label our axes. I can see that I'm asked to graph time and distance from Talia's house. So now I'm going to read the story and determine what kind of scale I need. Talia hiked 4 miles from her house, then she stops to eat lunch, hikes back to where she started. So 5 miles from her house, stops to eat lunch, and hikes back to where she started. Well, when she is hiking 4 miles from her house, she's starting from her house, hiking 4 miles, Stopping to eat lunch is going to look like a flattening. So 4 miles takes a while, probably longer than the amount of time to eat. And then she's going to hike back. I'm going to put her walking a little bit more slowly, coming back home. And we could tell it's a little more slowly because it's not as steep of a curve on our graph. So now, in order to use the graph for number 6, use the graph to find the total number of miles. I need to think about what each of these parts of the curve are illustrating. So this first incline is showing her hiking 4 miles from her house. So this part of the graph represents 4 miles. This middle part where she's eating lunch, she isn't walking, she's stopped. And then this part, well, if she's walked away from home 4 miles, it's going to be 4 miles to get back home. So I'm going to need to add that 4 again. So that means that she hiked a total of 8 miles. Seems reasonable for a long hike. It is a long hike though. All right, so if you're feeling confident on these graphs and you're feeling confident on how to graph points on a coordinate grid, and you remember what the quadrant names are, then you're ready for the checkpoint. If you want to look back at your assignment on quadrant names and the coordinate work that we did last week, you can do that before you go into the checkpoint. The checkpoint's located in today's folder, and you are allowed to retake it if you're not happy with your score. I'd like you to shoot for at least a 6 out of 8, but feel free to take it again if you want to bring your score up even higher than that.